Desiigner sounds exactly like Future. And even if you disagree, you can at least admit that Panda is palatable because it's running off of Future's momentum. He's not only featured on The Life of Pablo, he's also since inked a deal with Kanye's Good Music as well. This is a clear indication of the lack of creativity in the game today when we've got people rapping like people that are still rapping. I'm D-Respect, and I'd like to talk about the Panda Pandemic. First of all, Desiigner's only 18. He's a young artist who hasn't found his authentic style, so the fact that Panda is a hit is no fault of his own. He's unquestionably influenced by Future in the same way that Action Bronson borrowed from Ghost and Troy Ave from 50. But history has shown us far better biters than any of these three gentlemen. In 2000, the world thought that they had seen the worst Biggie clone after Shine stepped onto the scene, but they had no clue what they were about to witness. Gorilla Black is perhaps the best example of someone who blatantly stole someone's style. Does this sound familiar?
I'm BLACK from the CBT, where they dip them cigarettes and PCP, and them bras, they believe in me.
Not only did he have the same voice, but as you can see, the delivery, the wordplay, the flow, the cadence were note for note. And of course he can't help the way he looks, but being a heavyset guy made him appear more like an impersonator than a Biggie biter. And not to mention that mixtape in 1999 titled Notorious Black, which made his intention perfectly clear. The one thing that separates Desiigner from Gorilla Black, Bronson, and Troy Ave is this: Biggie died in 1997. Gorilla Black hit the scene in 2004. Fifth is still active, but musically he peaked around Curtis in 2007. You didn't really hear Troy Ave until 2013. And yes, Ghost is still making quality music, but the masses haven't looked out for him since, I don't know, Supreme Clientele, Bulletproof Wallet, whatever, early 2000s. And of course, Bronson hadn't been seen till 2011. These three didn't compete with their idols. They're in a separate lane. The grace periods that allowed the originators to become the rightful owners of their styles were given. Now, Desiigner might not be as bad as Gorilla Black, but he's got blatant shit of his own. Apparently, Panda is referring to the all-white BMW 6X with the black tinted windows. Panda, panda, panda. Second, the first line in the song is, "I got broads in Atlanta." Desiigner is from New York City. He's never even been to Atlanta. And I know because he said so.
I've never been to Atlanta. I've never seen Atlanta. I've never smelled Atlanta. I never touched Atlanta.
I'm also aware that in order to have broads in Atlanta, one doesn't actually have to be in Atlanta. But I think it's worth noting that Future is originally from Atlanta. Third of all, it's Desiigner's constant mention of going out like Tony Montana, which is the title of one of Future's first hits where he imagines himself from the perspective of the Cuban drug lord. All three of these items could easily be on the very next Future record. Even the cover of the song is basically 2 Chainz based on a true story, except with a fucking panda on it. We haven't heard much from Desiigner, but if I had to guess and extrapolate his catalog, I'm guessing it wouldn't stray too far from Future's sound. If the gap between the original and the copy is closing, it's yet another reminder of the downside of the internet. At any given moment, an artist can break out for all the wrong reasons. Every popular artist that impacts the genre will naturally create several clones, but I have to imagine that a J. Cole impersonator is a hell of a lot harder to create because it requires so many more dimensions. This is the very risk of the low labor product that Future makes. If you normally write watered down lyrics accompanied by a run-of-the-mill trap beat and auto-tune, somebody can easily come along, simply press a button, and call your style their own.
Thank you, Debbie. That was fast. Which is the original?
I forget.
You've just seen the Xerox 914 copier. It makes your first copy in less than a minute. 7 copies a minute after that. The 914 makes copies on ordinary paper automatically. For the name and number of your nearest Xerox office, look in your telephone book.